Alright, going to be doing a trade review for March 15th, 2023. And like I always do with all my trade reviews, just to preface, I'm a higher time frame trader that trades pivots and flags on the 15, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour. And to begin, the first and only trade I took today was actually on Meta. And the reason I took this is because I saw a 4 hour pivot break on it. I thought it was a pretty good trade in terms of following the criteria, but the timing just didn't pan out. As you can see, with this large rejection on the 4 hour, and then it actually went. So let's talk about what happened and how the execution just didn't work out, and the timing was just poor. So basically, I saw that in pre-market it was popping up and approaching the level 2 points away. So I had contracts ready, and I took it off this initial break on the 5 minute. And here's where I entered at the 940 candle. And you can see that I got really wicky here. And then I ended up stopping out because it closed below here. And so since that happened, I ended up just stopping out on it. And unfortunately, I took an L on it, but the timing just didn't work out in the trade, unfortunately. And that's been happening to me with Meta a lot, where the timing just doesn't work out with the 4 hours. So I think I'm just going to leave it off the list from now on, because its personality just doesn't work well, at least for me, with the 4 hour ideas that I have. A lot of times, I also noticed that Meta just doesn't align well with a lot of the other tickers that I trade. Kind of likes to do its own thing, or it might have pairs with other tickers that I just don't know about. But since that's the case, I might as well just leave it off the list and focus on other stuff that I'm more comfortable trading, I think. But yeah, it was a solid idea. Couldn't really execute on it because of the timing, or take advantage of it because of the timing. That's bound to happen sometimes. It's definitely an L that I should have controlled a bit more in terms of the outcome, but it is what it is and can't really do much about it, unfortunately. So yeah, that was my one and only trade on Meta. And moving forward to just the tickers, we look at AMD. As you can see, it was like really choppy around VWAP, and that's why I just decided to step away from my computer, because there's really no reason to trade something that's sticking to VWAP if I'm a trader that capitalizes on direction and continuation. So that's the reason why I ended up just stepping away. In hindsight, this consolidation actually yielded to a nice break to the upside, but because this really isn't in my system, I don't think I should have and would have taken it. My system is really dependent on direction first, then consolidation, then direction, not just consolidation and then direction. So because of that, I think I most likely wouldn't have taken it. Although, if you look on the 1 hour, it doesn't look bad here, where you can consider this direction, I guess, then consolidation and then a move up. However, it's still not enough direction and consolidation, or direction compared to consolidation, where I might have been able to justify to take it, but it did end up working out nicely. Not a bad trade at all. In terms of momentum, you can see very strong momentum candles at the break and a ride up to 90. So not bad at all. But yeah, that was AMD. Moving forward to NVIDIA. NVIDIA doing something similar here, where it's just chopping around with VWAP. And then I guess here's where on the 15 you could have considered something where it's direction, consolidation, and then direction again. However, this would have kind of invalidated something that's a part of my criteria, which is the obstacles in the way. So this is technically an area of supply that it has to get through. And you can see that when it comes back to this area of supply, it's rejected. And then when it comes back, then it breaks it. So I would have been hesitant to take it because of that. My criteria requires there not to be supply in the way. Of course, this still ended up working out, but it just means that the setup is less likely to go. It's not that the setup won't go, or it will go 100%, but it's just less likely. So that's an issue that I had with that setup, but nonetheless, it still ended up going, which is pretty interesting to see. And moving forward to Amazon, nothing really in terms of clear consolidation direction. It's kind of just like, you know, stair stepping up, but nothing that I think that is super clean. Maybe this could have been considered something on the 1 hour, but it's not clear direction. It's very wiki consolidation compared to the direction in relation to the direction. You want to always have direction and then tight consolidation in relation to the direction, and then you want to see a break. Whereas if you look at this is more so like this, you know, then a break. So it's not really what we want, because in case, you know, you do take the break here and it fails, it's going to go all the way down to like a 1.5 before it ends up trying again. And you don't want to be trying to stop out all the way down here and take a huge L, because then your risk to reward is skewed. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's something that didn't have a crazy amount of direction compared to the consolidation, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, let me just clear all this and move on to the next ticker. Next one, QQQ. Similar to AMD and NVIDIA, but I think AMD is probably the cleaner one out of the three. But yeah, just like a break here after all this consolidation at the 297 level. But nothing I think that is super noteworthy in my opinion. Google had maybe some potential here on the 15. It definitely broke, but could have been stopped out of this, honestly, before it went. But yeah, it did definitely give a decent move. It's probably one of the better looking setups on the day, but yeah, it's not bad. It's just this candle on the 15 would be worrisome. I would have liked to see just clearer upward direction instead of this, but yeah, it definitely wasn't a bad setup at all. But yeah, Apple, it's very choppy. Nothing really super clear here. Very choppy. Even when it gets somewhat directional, it's not enough to even consider a setup on it, if I'm being honest. It's very, very wiki, rangy. IWM, just tangling with VWAP, nothing nice. Same thing with SPY, and Tesla is also the same thing. So yeah, I think the best opportunities for the day were basically, I think, honestly, on Amazon. Maybe not Amazon. Was that Amazon? No, it was Google. Sorry, not Amazon. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, what is this? Yeah, I think Google probably had the best looking flag, because it's very tight if you compare this to Amazon. Or look at Amazon. So like, this is the direction, right? And this is the flag, quote unquote, right? And you can see the direction itself is 93 to 95, and the flag range is 1 point. The direction itself is 2 points, right? So it's very, like, you want the direction to be way more. So let's take Google, for example. Here, the direction of Google is 2%, or let's say it's from, yeah, 92 to 95 almost, right? And then we have the range that just goes from 94 or almost 95 to just 94.15, right? It's like 80 cents of range, which is something that's way more ideal, right? Where it's that much of movement, right? Compared to this much of range. Much more tight. And you can see it yields and moves much better than what Amazon did, right? Like, it did pop up, and then you could have been stopped out of this, and it took its time, you know? Whereas Google was much nicer, much more tight, popped up nicely, stalled for a bit and consolidated, and then another pop. You know, Amazon It's very, very wicky in its movement, and definitely could have been stopped out of this after getting a pop. Like seeing momentum come in here and then going on the 5 and seeing it crash back down like that fast. Definitely get the shaky hands out because you understand that this could easily push back down, make a higher low here, and then go up. So you don't want to be part of that. It's definitely a hindsight, but it's as you keep looking at these, it's something that you want to note because you really want to see direction, tight consolidation rather than just direction and then half of the consolidation is the direction itself. So if that's making sense, but yeah, and anything else I just didn't really see value in, to be honest. I think Google was probably like the best looking setup for the day, and even that had questionable movement in the morning. But yeah, it's starting to seem like the opens are a little bit more. They might start getting more choppy. So definitely got to watch out and wait for plays to set up later in the day. But yeah, other than that, I think that'll probably conclude it. Definitely not going to be trading meta anymore. Got burned on it too many times on a 4 hour that was a good idea and ended up working out, but just didn't have the timing correct. But other than that, I think that'll conclude it. Appreciate the guys that tune in. And if you have any questions, like always, you can just post them down below in the comments. And yeah, hopefully this is helpful for whoever is learning and aspiring to become maybe a higher time frame flag trader. I don't know. But yeah. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow and have a good one. Peace.